Saturday Night Live just wrapped up another crazy season on NBC. I'm Zach Laws of Gold Derby, and with me now is Miss Leslie Jones. Leslie, you are a two-time Emmy nominee for your work on Saturday Night Live. And I must say, I mean, you guys have been on a roll lately in terms of acclaim with awards and audiences. What do you think is the special alchemy going on right now with your show?
I think it's great writing. I think the writers are, Lauren is letting the writers have a little bit more say of what's going on. As we have young people who are actually putting in their opinions now. It's just a little bit more fresher. It's just like Lauren has given us a lot more permission to do things than before. So it's just like we're just like going straight for the veins now instead of just like playing around the veins. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I have to imagine the fact that the world is so crazy right now. I mean, it's terrifying to live in, but it's very funny to watch on Saturday nights. I mean, that must have something to do with it, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's really weird how we have to interpret so much pain and make it funny. You know what I'm saying? I always thought of SNL as a person that lets people who don't really watch news know what's going on in a proper way, of course.
Well, I think, they always say that the best way to really attack something is to make somebody laugh at it. And you guys do that every single week with the unbelievable stuff that's going on in our politics every single day.
I still am mesmerized how the writers can make it still look so good. It's because it's very painful. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. The other great thing that's been happening recently, I mean, I mentioned you've gotten your last 2 Emmy nominations. Kate has won, so did Alec Baldwin. You've gotten nominations for Adie Bryant, Kenan Thompson, Vanessa Bayer, all within these last few years. It feels like Emmy voters are really starting to recognize your guys' talent, not just as, sketch performers, but as actors.
Yeah, that's really like the stuff that we do on there and how hard it is, and to like really do a balance on the jokes where everybody can get them and where everybody can enjoy them, and our cast is so talented. We have such a talented cast, and I hate when you don't know that Alex stays up all night to write his updates when he does the movie guide, or it's just like Cecily puts her heart and soul in everything she writes. It's good now that people are starting to actually see the work behind all of the, and it's just not us up there going, we're sketch artists. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. I wanted to ask you about your standout episode. We've asked, if you're nominated again, I should say when you're nominated again, but hypothetically, you would submit the episode with Idris Elba.
Yeah.
What stood out for you about that episode?
There were a lot of episodes that I was thinking about, like the Weezer one. I was thinking about that one, the one with Miss Maisel. This one caught me because I felt like I did like 3 things that were insane. Like the Gail and R. Kelly sketch was just, come on, was iconic. And then the magic show, that was me. That was just all me. All my writing, all just physical and just utter stupidness. And then I got to do a great update on something that I've been wanting to do for a while, is talk about my funeral. So it's just felt like to me like it was such a strong, like it showed all 3 things that I could do well.
Well, also, what's interesting about that episode is that you've got a first-time host, Idris Elba. You're a veteran of the series, obviously. What's it like? What's the attitude like on set whenever you have somebody who's never done this before?
Oh, it's just a lot of telling them, hey, submit. I always tell the hosts, just submit. Just submit. Oh, you have great writers. You got a cast that's going to catch your back no matter what. We always trying to get them used to the cards because they're real actors, so that that card thing can throw you off if you're trying to act and read the cards. We basically try to let them know that we are here for you. The audience is here for you, and this is really about you having fun. This is about you dressing up and being silly. don't worry about if something doesn't go right. We got you. So that's really when we're telling the new host. That's the first thing I tell. We don't even have to talk to people who've been there more than once because they get it. But the people that have been there the first time, I tell them all the time that we're rehearsing in an empty studio right now. But soon the studio will be filled with people, and you will see what we see as far as what that joke is. Because sometimes they might not get a joke. I remember Chadwick Boseman. Is that how you say his name? I don't want to
Yes,
say
that's. I think that's right.
Yeah, we were doing the Jeopardy sketch, and he really was nervous because he was like, "This doesn't seem like it's going to be funny." And when we did it in dress, and he heard the noise, you could see the lights go on in his head because he was like, "Oh, I get it now. I get it now." And he was like, "Good." The rest of the show.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it must be particularly fun to do it with somebody like, Boseman and also Idris Elba, going back to this one, because like they're not known for doing comedy.
Right. And that's that. You know what? I was always the one asking them to book people like that. Like they were, it's like, sometimes I want to get Brad Pitt in here. I want to get Tom Cruise in here. I want to get Denzel Washington in here. I want to get those people in here and let them have a sense of humor. Like let them, everybody has a sense of humor, and we all want to see Brad Pitt do something stupid. So
Well, talk about the sketch that you did with Idris, the magician's assistant sketch. You said that was all your writing. I mean, where did the idea for that come from?
Oh my God, just because I've always been big, I've always been just bigger than everybody, and every time I watch a magic show or something like that, I'm always like, wouldn't it be funny if she just didn't fit none of that stuff? Like, just if I had to come in and do her job, like I would be bigger than the tank. We was gonna have the sawn in half, but like I was gonna be way bigger than the box. Like the box was only gonna fit the front part of my. It's just to me like being able to make fun of my height, that I am taller than everybody else. Like it's just so the box was my favorite part because him stabbing me. All of that was just me and Kenan just being real stupid.
Right. And it's funny, the little twist that happens at the end there where it's, he's trying to have you killed.
And that was his, because at first we were just going to do it right over. He was like, but wouldn't it be funny that he's trying to get rid of you anyway? I was like, yeah. So actually, Idris came up with that.
Okay, yeah. No, I mean, that's a funny little twist there.
Yeah,
speaking of...
that was one of my favorite moments ever.
Yeah. No, that made me laugh out loud. Speaking of which, you're welcome. Speaking of which, the cold open, the other sketch you're in with Kenan, you're doing Gayle King and the R. Kelly interview. I have to wonder, I mean, when stuff like that happens in the news, do you find yourself saying, okay, I know what I'm doing on Saturday Night Live this week?
You know what's so weird? I honestly didn't think that they was going to do that. When they told me they were going to write that, I can't explain it. Just like excitement, like, okay, are we really going to do that? So then you go and you study it. Like Gayle, first of all, when I saw the interview, I was like, Gayle is like the coolest cucumber. Gayle is like my auntie when I get the lion. Like, hey, auntie, no, let me tell you what happened. Well, see, when I went over to her and she like, Leslie, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I wanted to bring that. I wanted to bring auntie. Like, boy, you better stop jumping up there. Sit down. Yeah.
No, it's so funny watching the two of you play off of each other because he is so extreme and he's singing off to the side and he's, jumping up and all that.
Kenan is a beast. And I have to say that right now. Kenan Thompson is a freaking beast. Kenan might be one of the reasons why I'm so good, because he's so good. Like, he just went in. You can't do nothing but just have fun with him. When he looked at the guy, was like, is that the camera? That was off the top. That was off the top. He did that. And it's just like working with a master. So yeah, we laughed and had too much fun. Me and him were so happy that we got to do that together, because anytime we get to do sketches together, it's just insane.
I think I caught you cracking up a little bit during that. And I can't blame you, because I would have done the same thing.
Definitely. When he jumped up and he said, no, and he does that face. Oh, yeah. You definitely probably saw me laugh.
The last sketch you mentioned, the Weekend Update one, you said you'd been wanting to do that for a while. I mean, just tell us a little bit more about that one.
I'm always talking about, okay, have you seen the celebrities' funerals lately? Like,
oh, yeah.
hours long. Like, that's unreal. Like it's like Jesus then texts me 3 times asking why I ain't got to heaven yet. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm being held at this funeral. And I thought about it. I was sitting talking to Heidi. We was at the table read, and I was really tired. I don't know what it was. I was just really tired. And I said, Heidi, I think I'm gonna die doing this table read. I was like, but I need you to take responsibility, okay? I need you not to let them do no celebrity shit with me, okay? And I was started telling her what I wanted at my funeral, and then she said, Leslie, that should be an update. And I was like, that. So me and Heidi sat down and wrote it. It's something I always talk about. You can ask my sister and my stylists and all them. I'm always talking about, yeah, so I'm probably gonna die. I'm probably gonna die tonight. Make sure that my niece don't get no money. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that Hunter does not come in and take all my dishes, because he been talking about getting my dishes. You know, stuff like that. You know, you just don't want your funeral. You don't want certain people at your funeral. You know what I'm saying? That make sure that, you know, I plan on having a 10-minute set at my funeral of me telling jokes, talking about everybody at my funeral.
I especially loved all of your little celebrity references in there of all the people, like having Fantasia sing and all that.
Yes, Fantasia, not J-Lo. No, I love J-Lo, but I don't want her singing at my funeral. I love her, but not at my funeral.
Of course, yeah. Speaking of Michael Che and Colin Jost, I have to ask, I mean, about them hosting the Emmys last year, which, of course, I mean, you were there for as a nominee. You know, talk about that experience a little bit.
So which one we say?
I mean, I mean, it was just like a big Saturday Night Live, you know, at the Emmys type thing.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, it was, man. Yes, it was just like a big SNL show. Yes, it was. I had my opinions about it. It was great. It was great having everybody there.
Yeah. Let me ask you this also, sort of switching gears a little bit. I think one of the saddest things about Game of Thrones ending is that I guess Game of Jones is ending as well. I was talking to Seth Meyers, and he was just saying how much he loved doing it. And what are you guys going to do now that Game of Thrones is over? How are you going to keep going on there? Are you going to pick a different show to watch every week or something?
I think we're just going to get on with our lives. I think Game of Thrones is over, and I don't know if there's going to be a show as good as Game of Thrones to tweet out like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's still Game of Thrones is a show that took me by surprise that I love so much. So that's how I watch TV, period. So that could be for any show. So I'll probably pick a show and start doing it. Like right now I'm watching Outlander. I don't know if it's live tweetable though. There's a lot of shows that people go, oh, can you live tweet? And I go, nah, I can't live tweet that, because you got to watch what you say sometimes. You know, I say stuff at the house that I might not say in front of everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. Listen, I can tell you from experience, I mean, that show is very popular. We get all kinds of traffic from it, so you should live tweet that. You will gain so many followers. You might get into a few arguments with some fans, but
it's a cute little show, because the dude is on there, the one that tried to stand up and be king.
Right? Yeah.
Son of a bitch in Outlander. What the?
Oh my God, I lost my train of thought. You made me laugh so much. Real quick before I let you go, I mean, looking back on this crazy year of Saturday Night Live, I mean, what do you every single week when people come to watch your show, what do you hope they get out of it?
Oh man, how much fun we're having. I want them to get the joke that we actually started off wanting to make them laugh about. And it's even more joyful if they find other stuff in the sketch to laugh at. And also that the hosts have a really good time. Like we get people like Tom Hanks that like come off the top of his head with stuff, and he's just so happy after the show, you know? I just want like everybody to really start enjoying comedy again. That's what I hope for.
Yeah. Well, I think you guys do that week in and week out. Leslie Jones, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on another great season of Saturday Night Live.
Thank you. You had really good questions. I enjoyed talking to you.
Oh, thank you so much. That means a lot to me. I appreciate that. Thank you. And thanks to all you at home for watching. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button below. Make sure you visit us at goldderby.com for all the latest Emmy